Hi, I'm Terry. I've lost 175 pounds with Keto and Carnivore. Thank you for watching. Hello. We are going to make some chicken Parmesan. I've got 3 pounds of ground chicken. And I'm going to crack in 1 egg. And I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. There will be some marinara on it later, some pasta sauce, but I don't know how much. Since this is the kind that you just twist back and forth, do it till your heart says to stop. Okay. Then we're going to add in, got everything written down here. I'm going to do 1 egg, and then I'm going to add in, this is pork panko. I have this in the freezer. So this is pork panko. This is 15 grams of pork panko. So now I'm going to work it up, and we're going to line up my things here. Before I get my hands messy, I have 150 grams of pork panko, and this is 40 grams of grated Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to put this on here. I'm not going to add any salt because, you know, pork panko is pork rinds, so there's a lot of salt in pork rinds. So I don't want to add more salt than necessary. So, mix this up here. Broke out the aluminum foil to help with the mess cleanup part. Okay. So, all right, so we'll run down the line. 3 grams of ground chicken, 1 egg, and the pork panko and Italian seasoning. I'm going to form it in using this. This is 60 grams of unflavored protein powder. This is the one I used. They had it at Walmart, so that's what I've got. It's unflavored. Then this is 3 eggs that I've beat up. And then this is the pork rinds. Back up, buddy. Back up. So now I'm going to be able to, before I get messy, I'm going to block off the gate so there's no looky-loos over here in our business. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to mix up the chicken with the pork rinds and the egg. Get this all mixed together first. The gloves are coming off because the chicken is a little on the thicker side. So the gloves are sliding off. That's funny. Okay. Something I didn't do and I wish I would have done was adding in some Greek. I'm going to add in some Greek seasoning. We know I love this stuff. So I'm going to do this. Okay. Yeah. Going to be using a lot of gloves today. Let's see if I can. Save some gloves by Ah, good enough, good enough. So now I'm going to form chicken, little chicken, I don't know, things. I'm gonna see if I can if I can get them all about the same size by using this. I think that'll be good. Okay. Transferring them to my pan over here. Okay, so I have them all patted out. I'm going to put these in the freezer to kind of help them hold together a little bit before I dip them in the stuff. Clear example of what happens when you do not read your own directions. So, got my chicken ball, and then I'm going to put it in my pork panko. Just roll it in here really good. And then for extra measure, I'm going to put it in with the protein powder. And I'll pack it real good, and then I'll push it into here. And from here, I put it into here for the freezer later. It's very important to read your own directions, guys. Yep. So, I cracked the eggs for nothing over there, but that's all right. It's all right. Did not read my instructions clearly. And that's okay, though. Could probably go this way first, and then this way. Form it and push it in. I don't know which way I like the looks of it better. I'll go with the panko first. Coat it with the panko and then the protein powder. So I will say originally I was going to use chicken thighs. And with chicken thighs, I was going to, do the traditional dip it in flour, then dip it in the egg, then dip it in the pork panko. But a couple days ago, I changed it up. So that is what caused my problem. When you change what you're doing, you have to remember to go back and look at what you wrote down that you were going to do. So with the amounts of the panko and protein powder, I measured them before So for plugging them into my chronometer, I am going to weigh what is left over, and I'll know that that is how much I need to plug into my recipe. After this step is when I put it in the freezer. This is a combination of a couple different things from my favorite chef, Jean-Pierre. It's a combination of his chicken cakes, which are made with ground chicken, and mixed with a combination of his Parmesan cheese, or Parmesan chicken. So I'm putting two recipes together to make this. Yeah, so like I said, if you hop on YouTube, you will be able to see the recipe for Chef Jean-Pierre's chicken cakes and his Parmesan or chicken Parmesan. And that is the inspiration behind this, what I'm making today. It's a combination of the two recipes. I want to make sure I give that shout out. Okay, so now I'll put this in the freezer for about 30 minutes. And then I'll get stuff weighed so I know exactly what I didn't use. And I'll knock the 3 eggs off of the recipe. All right, I'll be back. So here's an example of what I'm doing. I already did the protein powder. I'm zeroing out this paper plate. I'm dumping the unused portion. This is the pork panko. It's 75, and I'm throwing this away. You don't want to reuse it because it had chicken in it. So I had 150 and there's 75 left. So I'll know next time to use 75 grams of pork panko. And then the 3 eggs, I'm just going to pour into this container, and I will use it tomorrow for my breakfast. And I'll let my dog lick that off. And because of using the aluminum foil, I have clean dishes that I don't have to wash on meal prep day. Yay! Now you can add whatever kind of oil you want. This is a tallow and lard mixture that I'm still working on, that I made up a while back. And I'm going to do this until it heats up and gets really, really hot. And then we'll brown the, we'll sear the chicken pieces. I'll get back to you. Okay, now I want to get a good sear on these. So I'm going to do each one for about 3 minutes on each side. Let's see how many we can fit in here. Like maybe we can fit 4 in here. So, all right, so 3 minutes on this side. We're not trying to cook them all the way through. We're just trying to sear them. So I'll do 3 minutes and 3 minutes, and then we're going to put them back in this pan for baking. Hey, don't forget, you're not like a dog, so you can't eat raw chicken. So when you're done doing all your chicken stuff, wipe everything down so you don't get sick. You don't want the salmonella. Let's see how the other side looks. Yeah, that looks nice. So that was 3 minutes. Be careful so you don't splash yourself. Now we'll do 3 minutes on this side. And then I'll do the rest of them for 3 minutes and 3 minutes. And I'll come back to you. While that's cooking, this is 3 servings of provolone and mozzarella blend. I did 3 servings because there's 9 pieces of chicken. So that way it'll be a half of serving of cheese on each piece. So I'll top it off with that. But I'm also going to do 1/2 of a serving of this roasted garlic per piece. So that'll be 9. So that'll be 3 full servings, which is, I already had Alexa do it. It was 339 grams. So I'm going to get 339 grams. She's trying to answer my question, but that's all right. I didn't ask for questions. So there's that. And then we're also going to do 45 grams of this harissa. I really, really like that sharp, spicy flavor. And it, you know, when you lose your sense of taste or it diminishes, you kind of look for ways to give yourself more flavor. So I'm going to get a big spoon, so that way, whenever they're done, I'll be able to just kind of pour it over the chicken pieces. All right, back to the chicken on the stove. Okay, so now I'm going to set this over here, and remember, they're not fully cooked, so be careful. Don't try to take a bite of it. And that skillet, or this cookie sheet is going into the oven. So I know it had raw chicken in it, but that's okay because it's about to go back in the oven. So whatever pieces were in there are going to, like the pieces of raw chicken, it's going to be getting cooked all together anyway. So I'm going to finish up these last 5 and I will get back to you. Side note, I tried to weigh, I weighed one of these raw ones versus one of those that have been cooked in the lard tallow mixture. Well, the cooked one weighs less because I was going to try to figure out how much fat it absorbed, but that's not possible. So in theory, if I want to know, I could have weighed how much I put in before and then how much it weighed afterwards, but we'll just guesstimate a tablespoon. Good enough. We can't always be exact with everything. So here's a fun fact. K-Love keeps advertising the service that they're having on in Red Rock, Colorado. Well, when I was 1980, I don't remember if it was 88 or 89, our youth group, we went to a revival out at Red Rock in Colorado, and it was in the middle of it wasn't like a concert. Now, you got to remember it's the 80s, so things were a lot different back then. Plus, it was a bunch of Lutherans, so our revival is not like the revivals you see nowadays. But that's beside the point. Anyway, so we were there, and we were out in the amphitheater, and you know, we were kids, and it was in the summer, and so we had shorts, t-shirts on and stuff, and lo and behold, it starts hailing, and kids were running and scared and crying, and it made national news. And you gotta remember, in the 80s, nobody had a cell phone. There was no such thing as a cell phone in the 80s. So, you know, the parents were trying to figure out, were their kids okay? Was their kid alive? What happened? I don't remember if anybody, I don't think anybody died from it. But, Alexa, volume down 2. Sorry, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't think anybody died from it, but I do know kids had to go to the hospital. But yeah, I graduated high school in 1990, and I'm pretty sure it was like 87, 89. Like I said, heck, I can't even remember y'all's names. How am I going to remember exactly which year it was? But anyway, yeah, so it cracks me up because they're broadcasting about this, concert at Red Rock in Colorado, and I'm like having some not true PTSD, but I'm kind of like, don't go, you guys, don't go. You don't know what could happen. you might get out there and be praising the Lord and a hailstorm hit, because that's exactly what happened to us. We were celebrating and we were all singing songs, kind of like the revival, you know, that happened in Kentucky. Only this was outdoors. And anyway, so yeah, we ended up, we were all running to our buses. People were getting on our bus that were not from our church and from our school. So everybody was just running, trying to get out of the hailstorm. It was pretty wild. But anyway, so yeah, so Caleb keeps talking about Red Rock, and I'm like, having like, don't do it. Okay, I put in a meat thermometer that I've been using, and these look like donuts, don't they? They look like donuts with a red icing and a white something on the top, white coconut. Anyway, we won't go there. So I'm going to put this in the oven until my timer says that it's 165 degrees. And the oven is at 375. That's how they look straight out of the oven. I'm going to let them cool down before I cut into one, and we can see how it looks. I'll have all the macros at the end. Just a second, I'll read them to you though. Okay, you get 1.5 patty, is 674 calories, 66.7 protein, 7.8 carbs, and 42.5 grams of fat. So it's 1.5 of those will make a serving. So it's going to make 6 servings. The pork panko is very, very high in calories. So that's part of where the high calories come from. And the fat that you cook it in, you know, in the skillet, that's high calorie too. Both of those were where the majority of the, I say majority, is why it is so high calorie. But it's gonna be good. All right, let's taste one and see what we think. Pull it out here. Come over here. Hello. So that's what it looks like up close. Cut into it. Yeah, looks done. That's good. I like that. Trying to taste all the flavors. I will totally make this again. Would I change anything? I might add a little more salt, but you can't tell because the pork panko has so much salt in it. You just don't want to get carried away with it. So I would add more salt like as I'm eating it. Yeah, I like the dryness that the protein powder gives, and the texture and flavor that the panko gives. So yeah, I'm just kind of going through and just to double check. Yeah, it's done all the way through. So, yeah. You could totally do this with regular like chicken. If you use like chicken thighs and pat them out or beat them up and whatever, which is what I was gonna do, but this just seems like a lot less manual labor. And you could even leave out the pork panko and the egg, you know, to make it into the patty. You can leave that part out probably and cut out more calories by not using the pork panko. Yeah, this is my lunch. All right, bye.